Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Haley. I'm a 27-year-old cashless budgeter, recent graduate, and caregiver who's working on her relationship with finances, as well as working towards financial freedom. If that's something you're interested in, please like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video. Okay guys, this is my first monthly wrap-up that I'm doing on this channel, so please bear with me as I work through this. As you would be able to see in one of the shorts I posted, I added to my automatic savings withdrawals and actually added them to my envelopes to create the totals for the month. But this video in particular will be really tracking my monthly totals as well as the interest that accrues in certain envelopes. Yes, all these savings that I mentioned on this channel are in high yield savings, are in a high yield savings account, just in different buckets. There are plenty of options for high yield savings accounts out there. If you'd like me to make a video about them, please leave me comments down below. Again, disclaimer, this is no way, shape, or form financial advice or what you should do. This is all just what I'm doing to work through this process. So, with that being said, all the envelopes in my binder do not gain interest. What I do is, based on the buckets, there are one or two envelopes in particular that I choose to focus on as far as where that interest is allocated at the end of the month. There are some envelopes that do not get any interest or automatic savings withdrawals at all. And there are some that I don't have really the time and or finances to focus on 100%. And those are envelopes that usually gain the interest at the end of the month. So, for example, one of the first envelopes that get the interest from my sinking funds is actually in this sloth binder. Again, this binder will not be on the channel as often. It gets interest every month until I build up $20, and then I end up reallocating into the envelopes in here. Which probably will be every quarter. So I probably won't be doing anything in this binder necessarily until December. But for my end of month totals, I had a total of, double checking, yes, I had a total of $2.80 that accrued from my sinking funds for interest this month. Now, how I have this work, because I do not work with change while I'm doing a lot of the work in my binders, is that I have mini interest buckets, as I call them, within the bucket itself, so they keep track of the change, and once it builds up to a full dollar amount, I transfer that into the envelope. So in this case, opening up here, and plus, you guys, I reuse budget sheets all the time. I mark things out and back and forth, so if you're going to see all the mess, that is my tracking sometimes. But due to the interest accruing this month and there already being a total of 20 cents in my little interest bucket, as I like to call it, the $2.80 made a total of $3. So I was able to add a total of $3 into this binder. I hope that all makes sense. If it doesn't, I repeat this with the rest of my binders, and feel free to leave questions down below in the comments. So since I'm not working on any of these envelopes right now until I reach $20, I decided to create this deposit envelope. And thus far, it has $7 in it. And with the $3 I am adding currently, it'll bring it up to $10. So this $10 will be in here until I can add more to it and add the interest from next month. And again, I probably won't get to this binder fully until December, but we'll see. It's not necessarily set in stone in that regard. Alright, the other section that's also in this binder, but is in a different bucket in my high yield savings account, is car and car maintenance. So the interest for my car fund goes to my emergency fund at the moment. And this way, this month the interest was $4.30, so that'll bring a total in my car emergency fund to $213.32. I do not stuff change. I just keep track of it on my budget sheet. And again, once this 32 cents reaches $1, I'll add it to the total amount and it'll be $1 within my envelope. So, going into my emergency fund right now, it has a total of the 100, 200, 5, 7, 9. So it had 209 and 32 cents in it. Well, 209 and 2 cents. Then I add the $4.30, which would make it 13. I'm just going to go ahead. And a lot of these envelopes, I go ahead and just... Oh, excuse me, guys. Random yawning. I just go ahead and condense as I go, because prop money does make that easier, as well as I am trying to have these envelopes last as long as possible. And with this being my revolving binder and me being in it on a weekly, if not bi-weekly basis, I tend to condense in here the most. Okay, so that will make it, let's see, I would need 1 2-pack. Okay. About to mess up here. So in total, it should be 100, 200, 10, 12, 13. So that's the 213. And again, I don't stuff 32 cents, but it's technically in here in my high yield savings account. So with that and my car deductible, I'm just going to recount for all intents and purposes. So my car deductible is at 150, 70, 90, 92, 94. It's at $194. And why I counted that again is because my car deductible and emergency fund, I am using the $275 a day challenge by Amanda from Amanda's Budgets. Right here. I decided to personally round each bubble up to $3. Just, again, I don't usually work with change very often. And it made more sense for me and my budget. So, updating this, let's see if I can color. I'm going to start using brown. By the way, most of these videos or monthly summary videos will be the following month, just for a simple fact that the interest does not reflect in the account to the first day of the next month. So I'm going to use brown for November, and I might speed you guys through this in my coloring to update for this month. So for this month, or the month of October, that is reflected this month, plus the interest, I got to add a total of $24.72 to this challenge. I just colored in the other half. I know that would be $1 and change. Rounding off, son. Again, I don't usually use change or track change until this time of the month. So yeah, the progress is going pretty good. I hope I didn't bleed through the page too much or on the table. Doesn't look like I did. But yeah, I will probably update this at the end of every month. Or at least every quarter. But right now I'm doing it every month. Just to keep track of the smaller bubbles. So that is that. And now we can get to my other envelopes. So, whoop, do not fall. Okay. So in my other savings, these envelopes in here, my personal savings challenges, the majority of them get the entirety of the interest in my high yield savings account. I can only think of maybe 2 that do not at the moment, but that's because they're in my monthly budget as is, and they're not super high priorities. They're either one or the other or both. So again, that will vary based on needs. So one envelope that does get interest in its totality right now is my parachute fund that I'm using the monthly challenge from Budget by Valerie for. So in this case, and actually guys, I'm super excited about this, I gained a total of $10.11 in my emergency fund, which I gained that to the $5.54 I had, plus the 89 cents in change, which just worked out perfectly and really lightened up my little budget nerd soul. Altogether came out to an even, well, not even number, but flat $565 for my monthly total in my parachute fund. So I am going to go ahead and do 2 things. make sure that the envelope's correct. This is my $500 placeholder. Again, I am a high proponent of use what you have, if all possible. So this is just a $1,000 placeholder in a package that I ordered that I was not expecting. Got some washi tape, paint tape, and wrote denominations up here. Not the prettiest, but it works for what it works for. Again, do what's best for you and do what makes you comfortable and makes you want to actually stick to this process. So it's 500, 50, 52, 54. So adding the $10.11 brings me up to $5.65. So that's $5.50. I'm just going to go ahead and condense them here. Yep, 65. I'm going to put these two to the side. So again, 500, 50, 65. All right, that envelope's together. Now, as I track this, as I mentioned in a previous video, I just wrote down the numbers I have already scratched and just mark them off as I go along until I make up to the numbers I haven't scratched yet and continue the book from there. Let's see if I have another color pen. I'm just gonna go with blue. I like blue. Blue's my second favorite color. Second favorite color. Next to purple. Okay, so the last time I finished tracking on this, I was at 504 in this binder. And getting to the 565, I would need a total of $61 more. So I am marking off the 2 scratch offs I already did for October and the 140 scratch off I had for November in the book. All right, let me just fan this a little bit. Because I love gel pen, you guys, but as a lefty, we're not always the best of friends. So I tried to make sure they're at least somewhat dry before I put them anywhere. We're good? Yep, we're good. All right, so I'm going to stick this back in that envelope. It's my little tracker. Property tax does not get any interest. The interest from my, I guess, home account or home maintenance account goes into general maintenance things as of right now. Again, I mentioned this in another video, but my maintenance fund is kind of depleted because we had to replace the refrigerator. So I'm using the interest to build that back up instead of in here because I stuff this at least once a month for my check, so I'm not too worried about it getting interest. So moving on. Dreamier, this future investment challenge, so to speak, also does not gain the interest because it has the weekly automatic savings that go into it, as well as it's a part of my personal savings. So I do have a mini interest bucket in my personal savings for the interest. So this does not gain interest as well. My 100 envelope challenge, however, does gain interest from my future home savings bucket in my high yield savings account. So thus far, the interest for this account for October was $10.34. So adding to that plus my account round down, that would be in the short that's on my channel. But with the $10.34, that leads me to $206.22, which means that I get to color another balloon, which I'm going to make sure I condense and add to this first before I do that. So I won't lose track of what I'm doing. So let's see, we had the 95 in here, double checking, 50, 70, 95, and then adding the $10.34 would make that, yep, make that 100, another 100, and then the $6, so I can put this whole thing to the side. Yeah, again, okay. Whole bunch to the side, and so the $6 will be in the back of this envelope, which is my in progress section, and I will have a full $200 towards my 100 envelope challenge. In this case, my 100 envelope challenge is for a future home down payment, and I am using There's No Place Like Home challenge. Move this bind to the side for a minute. The No Place Like Home challenge, excuse me, from Hey K Budgets. I believe is still a freebie on her channel. I'll make sure to leave her in the description down below. Okay, I don't really want to color it in. I want this to look fun. I did color in the first balloon purple because purple is my favorite color. So you know, I'm just going to take a highlighter and create a design on this. Make it fun. Here we are. Another envelope filled, another balloon colored, and I am so excited to finish this one day. This is one of my long-term goals. Honestly, my favorite to save for. And I honestly think if I didn't have other priorities, I'd probably put a lot into this. But anyway, each balloon is to be $100. By the time I finish this, I'm kind of using like the 100 envelope challenge. It'll be a total of $10,000. So it's a slow work in progress, but it's a work in progress nonetheless. And that is that. My travel does get interest, but I do not track it on this channel due to the fact that it's really changed, or mostly changed, and that is being allocated in a different part of my travel fund that has nothing to do with the challenges that I do for it. I hope that made sense. So it does get the interest, but the challenges themselves does not get the interest. Alright, so that is this binder. And then exciting news, you guys. I got to round down my account again for the end of this month. Another $12. And I decided to put that $12 towards this future home binder that's separate from my down payment savings. This binder is more so for all the other aspects of home ownership that I expect to have in the future, and or things to help now in terms of things like moving, any upkeep, any maintenance, any projects that may come up, appliances, interior, exterior, lawn care, landscaping, all that fun stuff is being saved for in this binder. So I was able to add another $12, which wow guys, slipping fingers, going to add. And technically the transfer went at an earlier date, but it did not show up or reflect on my account until now in November. So I usually put the date that is reflected in. So I'm just going to say that it's the start of November. And right now the envelope that I'm working on is structural needs and exterior work. And again, I mentioned in the previous video, but my goal is to get each of these envelopes to at least $1,000. I do not really have a timeline for this. I'm gradually working on this, the same with my home down payment. And I might need to pull from this, depending. That will be a whole nother update entirely, because I don't know, I'm not 100% sure. But we'll see how the rest of taxes, maintenance, and any type of inspections go. So either way, I'm still going to build this up. And remember that your savings are there for a reason. And if you need it, so be it. It may not be the best feeling in the world, but at least you had it, you're prepared for it, and you had the resources to do so. So that's the outlook and mindset I'm trying to adopt right now, because it is hard, especially knowing that I could potentially have to pull potentially this whole entire binder and start over. But at least it's here, and I'd rather do this or do that if I have to than go into debt or further debt than I am now. So yeah, I'm just going to keep pushing, keep going, and I really do, this is such a plug, but I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys for your comments, for your encouragement, and helping me get to this mindset of it's here, it's savings, yes, and it is for a particular purpose, but if I need it, you know, life happens, push comes to shove, gotta do what I gotta do, and it's not a negative reflection of me or any work that I've done to get here. So, words of encouragement. Haley's words of encouragement. So adding $12, I'm just going to put this 10 to the side. And adding 12, that'll be $22 in this envelope thus far. Alright, I believe that is all the envelopes I need to cover as far as interest and last minute savings are concerned. So right now I am going to do a summary basically of all of my cash reserve savings. I do have investments. I do have a Roth IRA and I do have a 401k. Feel free to let me know if you guys want to see that. I don't really consider it's a part of my savings in a way, in the sense that yes, I'm putting money into it. But I don't want it to be taken as any financial advice or anything. Again, I can share the numbers if you guys would like to see that or feel a need to see that. But I don't really consider it all that much. I only look at it once a month, maybe, if that. And it's not really, even though it's part of my financial journey, as I do want to retire, quote unquote, early. Kind of like Barista Fire, I believe that's what it's called. I will leave a note if I am saying that wrong or I'm thinking of the wrong thing. But my idea of retirement is I am able to basically take part-time or do nonprofit work and live off of that income. I function as if Social Security is not going to be there. I hope it is, for obvious reasons. But if it's not, I want it to be seen as supplemental to what I have versus being the basis of what I have. So even though saving for retirement is very important to me, it feels like relationally to the rest of these getting peanuts right now. But that's only because I am gun-ho focusing on getting out of debt. And once I get out of debt, free out more money in my income so that I can put more towards retirement. But every dollar counts. Every dollar matters. Even if I can only put $5 into something, so be it. If I can only put right now $20 towards my Roth for retirement, that is fine with me because that's better than nothing. And I do put in up to my employer match into my 401k right now. Again, this is mostly until my debt is paid off. Once my debt is paid off, I think I'll become more aggressive with my investments, but we'll see what the future holds. So I am going to go ahead and get this cleaned up and get the math together because I don't know if I'll be able to pull off the math in one take while doing this. So bear with me. If I do end up doing it in one take, congrats to me, you'll see it. If not, I'll just have to come back and do it. So let's try. Okay, guys, I'm going to be honest, that was an utter fail. I basically had to stop and rewrite all the numbers on paper and do the math and then come back to do this with you guys. Yeah, math on camera is just going to have to be a work in progress for me because it was actually kind of embarrassing. How bad that was. But we move on. We're good now. So I decided to share basically my savings or cash reserves with you guys, and decided to leave out my investments for right now. I can make separate videos or short updates on investments again if you'd like to see them. But for right now, I think since my savings is the most important or what I'm more focused on, it'll be more beneficial to see them than to see things like investment or net worth. Again, if you're interested in seeing it, I can happily make a shorter video and or a short for you guys, if you're interested. But I just thought focusing on savings would be the best bet, so here we are. So here I decided I split up my cash reserves into different sections. I have a section for emergency funds, again across all binders, my personal savings, revolving funds across all binders, and my home savings by itself. I do have, I'm going to slide this up a little bit, I do have a little debt section. I do not count this in my savings. It's really just to keep track of envelopes that I save up for that will go towards debt or any co-pays or bills or whatnot. So in total for debt that I'm saving for, as far as that's concerned, I have $388.61. Again, I did not count those towards my total savings because I know it's going to be spent for debt anyway, so I don't really consider it as part of my savings total or savings goal. Alright, so bringing this back down, I am going to, one, double check that you guys can see this. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Nice. So, I will start with my emergency funds and totaling these all up. My mini emergency fund, these are basically the ones I will be working on later on. But I have a small one for house, one for medical, and one for pet care, pet emergencies. My rainy day fund was the original $1,000 starter emergency fund from Dave Ramsey's Baby Steps. I don't really follow his baby steps, especially right now, to see, because I was also paying down debt while I was doing this. But I still understand, and I do the debt avalanche instead of debt snowball. But that just is me, what motivates me. Again, do what's best for you. But I still think his advice in baby steps are valuable and multiple, and do what works for you. Is mostly to get you in the mindset. And it's more about the mindset rather than the actual money itself. At least that's how I see it. But yeah, I started out with Dave Ramsey Baby Steps, and now I mostly do a mix between the baby steps and the food from the Money Guys. I'll happily leave both linked down in the description so you can go check it out for yourself if you're interested. But I do think they both have solid advice for different situations. But anyway, moving on. And here is what we stuffed earlier in this video with my parachute fund. My parachute fund is more so a job replacement fund, or in the case that I need to find another employment, I am trying to build up at least 3 months first, then work on building up 6 months, and eventually I like to get to a year. But again, work in progress. Small steps are still steps, and we'll definitely keep focusing on that. And then I also include my car emergency fund and repair envelope, which I also stuffed earlier in this video. I do not include my deductible in this necessarily, and the main reason that I don't is because I consider it part of my payments, which I consider revolving funds. It's a whole ball game, I know. It makes sense in my head. My emergency funds, at least these funds, I see as my last options. These are not funds I plan on dipping into first, unless I absolutely have to. Versus my revolving funds, which do help buffer against some of these, but these I am more willing to take out of for different things. So that's why you don't see my car deductible out here, and I consider it part of my car maintenance and payments savings. Okay, so I'm going to add out what's in my emergency funds first. So we have the 1,000. Hold on one second. All right. I don't know, the clicking clacking sound just bothers me when it's on the table. $2,290.32. This will probably be the only time you see me actually keep track of the change. On my budget sheets, I do, and my envelopes physically I do not. Okay, moving on to personal savings. Again, this is I consider my personal savings. I do not flesh out a lot of the envelopes that are in here because I just decided not to share them on YouTube for the most part, but it does include things like my own personal savings tides that I save, any charity events or work for charity events. Sorry if you hear people outside about that. And any future investments I want to do. So I'm going to add that up as well. And that in total, I can do a little bit quicker. It'll be $241.45. Hey guys, I was just waiting for that car to go by if you could hear them outside. Anyway, where I left off, revolving funds. These are my funds I'm mostly taking in and out of on a regular basis. You've seen my sinking funds is mostly my yellow binder. My sloth binder as well, I consider a revolving fund binder. Again, it's most of my low priority envelopes in there that I don't really focus on, but I try to put a little bit too every couple months. Then we have my car maintenance, which I do yearly, if not every other year, at dealership. And payments, things like tax and tag, in this case my deductible, even though I'm saving up for it and I don't want to have to use it, I'm more willing to pull out of it for different things. Or if a maintenance cost comes up a little bit higher than I expected. And travel. Again, building travel bit by bit as well. So these are the sums for each of those binders and or envelopes. So that's $2,297.90. And then we move on to my home savings. This will include everything, including maintenance, taxes. The featured home binder I'm trying to get to 1,000 each envelope for, and also my 100 envelope challenge I'm doing for down payment. So adding up all of these, that is $4,171.13. $13. Oh, okay. Moment of truth of adding all of these up. I am actually kind of nervous because just looking at the numbers, if they are what I think they are, then I am probably going to have to cut me out for 2 seconds as I scream. And I will tell you guys why as soon as I finish adding this up. Because my goal since starting a year ago with cash stuffing was to challenge myself to save at least $10,000 in my savings. Mostly to not only to stick to it, but to prove to myself that I can do this. And hold on. Oh my, you guys, I don't know if you can see any, you guys, shut up, you guys, are exactly at $10,000.89 in savings. I am kind of speechless right now. I'm really trying hard not to cry. I'm trying so hard not to cry. Okay. You guys, oh my, breathing. I'm calm. You guys, this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And this is, well, October is technically my 1-year anniversary of doing cash stuffing. That's $10,000 in a year and a month. In 13 months, technically. Yeah, I am besides myself. I don't even, like, I don't even know if there's anything else to add to this video. I am, you know, like, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely wild. So, I basically met and or beat my expectation of savings. I considered it very ambitious, but it's like, you know, just see what happens. And I am officially at $10,000 in savings, a whole 2 months ahead of what I planned on last year. This blows my mind. I am okay. Wow. All right. You know what? I can't even talk for the rest of this video. There's nothing else for me to say. I have no more words. I am just going to sit with this and let it process. And you know, this is real motivation for creating my 2025 goals. Because it's one of those, like, if I can do this, You know, like, I can do this. Like, I proved to myself I can do this. Even in debt, be able to do this. Lord knows, I'm just so grateful. I'm just beyond excited and beyond blessed right now. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching and being here. If you can, please leave any firecracker emoji down in the comments, because I'm blown away, you guys. I really am. I hope you guys have a blessed day or evening wherever you are in the world, and I hope to see you guys next time. Talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.